And we are back. And as promised, in our studio this morning with us, as we have our monthly visit with the Dr. Kathy Rollo, who's the superintendent of LISD. Good morning, Dr. Rollo.
Good morning, Dave.
And also Jill Berset, who's the executive director of CTE, which is what we're going to talk about mostly this morning, I understand. So is everything going your way, Dr. Rollo? I mean, it's just a wonderful school year and no problems and...
Well, I won't say
Well,
no
you
problems,
keep
but
saying
we're
no
prepared
problems.
to handle any problems that we face. But it's been a great
Well,
school year. We've
well,
had a fantastic
you've got
start.
Matt's kids at school, so I
Yes.
know you're bound to have some problems.
I have good kids.
You do. You do. Well,
So-
we're excited because as a public school system, we are charged with making sure our students are college and career ready. And so what I'd like to visit about today is how we prepare our students to be career ready.
Well, and we were talking off mic, and so for years I've handled a lot of clients, and many like plumbers and electricians and things like that. And we were talking about how I keep getting input specifically from a plumbing company that I handle that just desperate for plumbers, and I know that's just one of many.
Yes.
Correct. In fact, that's a new program we've started at the Advanced Technology Center. And it's really, we started that program based on employer input and the need for plumbers and electricians. So we're excited that we were able to hire a master plumber and a master electrician. And we're partnering up with Texas Tech Facilities Department with their Department of Labor apprenticeship program. So these students can come in their sophomore year and start clocking hours towards their journeyman, and then their junior year take an advanced course, and then be out their senior year working with plumbers in the community.
And they'll be making more money than they would if they just started out without any experience. I mean,
Absolutely.
And there are some that will train, but then you start at the very bottom.
Absolutely, and they'll be able to get the majority of their classroom hours done in school, and really just generating that interest is as important as anything, and helping them understand how much money there is to be made and what the need really is for employment.
Well, I think if my understanding is correct, I mean, if you get into any of those, well, maybe not any of them, but electrical, plumbing, welding, things like that in the trades, you can make more money than many college degrees will make you.
Absolutely, and usually without nearly the amount of debt, too.
Exactly.
And you can go just about anywhere and get a job. And that's the case, too, even with our health science programs. We have Certified Patient Care Techs. That's a new program for the last 3 years. And those kids are getting their phlebotomy, their EKG, and their CPCT certifications. And every one of those 34 kids got hired this summer as soon as they graduated.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you go to the clinics and whatnot where they have all the testing stuff, like a Grace Clinic or another clinic that would have all that, and they always have a huge line waiting for people to get, because they've got to have the people to draw the blood and to do all those
Absolutely.
things.
So in order to go through, I guess maybe fill us in on exactly how that works. How do you get involved in the is it the Byron Martin? Is that what we're talking about? The Byron Martin Center?
It is.
And
but,
you of course you have to be an LISD student,
right.
And what, an eighth grader?
Well, we have programs that begin really in middle school. So we have students in 6th through 8th taking exploratory courses in all of the different cluster areas that we have programs in. And we have a lot of classes on our high school campuses as well. And so really the majority of our enrollment's at the high school campuses. And then students can come their sophomore through senior year to the Advanced Technology Center. They come for 2 hours. We provide transportation back and forth. And then they can enroll in one of I think 22 different programs that we have there. And we try to house the advanced programs there, like automotive, auto collision, welding, where we have a lot of money invested in the equipment and the labs. And then also a new program over there is law enforcement, where we have a lot of need, but it's hard to find teachers, and there might not be enough students at each campus to offer the programs. So that's how we determine that.
Because I know there's a big security and law enforcement.
Absolutely.
Now, is this something that when you graduate you can? Well, I guess you still have to go through the academy, though.
Yes, you still have to go through the academy, but
you got a heads up on it, I suppose.
Yes, and the partnerships that we've developed with all of our law enforcement agencies, our internship kids, and then the other students in the program are getting to every week either DPS or the LPD or the Sheriff's Department or the Texas Parks and Wildlife or the Criminal District Attorney's Office come out and they work with these students 3 days a week. And so for them to understand all the different careers available in law enforcement is so important. And that's the other piece, really. For high school students, they don't know what all is out there. And we can say law, but think about all of the different areas like crime analyst. I didn't realize what an important position that was, and that's something new in the last 2 years.
That's popular too.
Oh,
It seems like everybody I know, they want to be a CSI.
But this is an IT person, actually, that works with them that pulls all of that information together. So now we're starting to tell our IT kids about crime analysts that are being hired every day in law enforcement.
So let me ask you this. Do y'all have counselors? I mean, are the counselors there to help them figure out where they're wanting to go? And I know your counselor's not going to be like, hey, I've seen your grades, you don't want to go to college. But, you know, do you have counselors that can help them? Hey, what are your interests? What is it that you are thinking you want to do? And kind of help them figure out what program would work for them.
Absolutely. In fact, the counselors meet with the students every year, one-on-one, usually twice a year, and really help counsel them. We do a lot of tours at the ATC for middle school and high school students. We have principals courses at the 9th grade level that give them a good overview of those cluster areas. So counselors are a critical piece of that puzzle. And then they're a part of all of our industry partnerships. We have advisory councils for each one of our programs. I think we have 225 industry people that meet with us twice a year, and the counselors come to all of those meetings, and that really helps them sit down and hear from industry as well as just from our students and our teachers.
Okay, and do y'all have I know that some of the other schools work with South Plains College.
Mm-hmm.
Do y'all work with South Plains College with some of these programs?
Absolutely. All of our programs that can be are articulated, so students are earning college credit that can be used towards those Associate of Applied Science degrees. And now they're starting to do dual credit for the technical programs as well. And it's a great deal. Students can enroll in as many courses as they want that are in the technical area for $50 a year. So they're really trying to help because it's a huge recruitment piece for them to get these kids to continue to move on and finish up and maybe get an additional certificate or their associate degree.
Well, tonight's a great opportunity.
So let me
to come
ask you
see.
this. So this is something that we're in audio, video production, and communications. I know that, like I was saying, South Plains College has a good program with that, and I was just, what do they go into with that? Something like
Well, we have several different pathways within that cluster area. We do graphic design, we do interior design, fashion design, but also audio-video production. And, you know, we have a great TV station there at LISD. And so they can either go into broadcasting or film or radio. So and we have a lot and we have a lot of kids that really are interested, and they do all of that work at, you know.
I'm amazed at what Connor can do back there with a board, so... So you were talking about, are we going to do mic check? No, he does it all.
He does it all. He just takes care of it.
He is the person behind the screen that does all that.
He pulls the levers and spins the knobs and makes it all work. Anyway, okay, it's now time to take a break, and then we'll come back and learn more about your Lubbock ISD. Now, text lines are open. If you have a question, 806-680-2790 is the number. Back in a moment. And we're back here on 95.1 FM, 790 AM. This is KFYO Mornings with Matt and Dave. And again, in the studio with us this morning is Dr. Kathy Rollo, the superintendent of Lubbock ISD, along with Jill Berset, who's the executive director of your CTE. That's Career Technical...
Education.
Education, yeah.
Before we go on to more about that, let's talk about, y'all said there's an open house coming up tonight. And
Yes.
Who's that for, and who do you want to be going through this open house?
Well, our target audience are 8th graders. And so we have...
And their parents.
And their parents. And so we have sent messages via mailers plus phone calls and text messages to let them know about the open house tonight at the ATC. And Jill, why don't you share a little bit about what students and parents will be able to see tonight?
They'll be able to go to all of the different programs. In automotive, they always have an extra big thing going on during open house, and so they have a lot of fancy cars, and dealers are coming in to showcase all of that. But they'll be able to see all the different programs and visit with the teachers and just learn. Our law enforcement ambassadors are going to take everybody around. But it's open to the community, so if you're just interested or have always wondered about the ATC, you're welcome to come. And, of course, all parents are welcome to come and meet the teachers and
So
learn more.
they'll be making their pitch to the students.
Absolutely.
Okay, how many students do you expect to have enroll?
Well, right now we have 1,777 students that come from the high school campuses every day to the ATC.
Wow.
And so that's stayed pretty steady.
What's your most popular subject?
It varies, but right now, I would say law enforcement and health. We have about 800 kids that come over for health science every day. And then automotive is always at about 150, 60 kids. And then law is really growing. We've had to add a teacher every year since we started that program. So those are three of the most popular.
So you were talking about that, at least that program, it's hard to find teachers. Who do you get to be a teacher? Is it someone in law enforcement or someone in education, someone who has to have both?
Well, it is very different for our trade and industry, which is a big part of what's at the ATC, because they have to have years of work experience, at least 3. We prefer 5 to 7. And so we need their experience and expertise from industry, but they don't know how to teach. And so we bring them in, and we try to give them a real good view of what it's like to be a teacher. But then we send them through alternative education. There's a certification program that's specifically developed for CTE teachers, and it's through Region 13. And so they go through that their first year and learn to teach. And then we really mentor and try to nurse them along.
So, of course, you're looking for a big crowd to show tonight.
Yes, sir.
I'm guessing, I remember when I was an 8th grader, and probably if they came around and left me something to take home to my parents, it may have gotten there, maybe not.
Right.
So I'm guessing this is an opportunity we have right now to talk to the parents of 8th graders, any 8th grader now that's in Lubbock ISD. We want you to come tonight to the
ATC open house. It starts at 6 o'clock.
where and when?
It's tonight at 6 o'clock to 7:30, and the ATC's at 34th and Avenue Q.
Very easy to find.
Very easy to find.
Let me get this text message in this morning. Dr. Rollo, my son was in the work program back in the early 90s. His interest was in LISD TV. He actually did the news prior to graduating high school. He went into graduate school and is now the communications director for the city of Richardson in the Dallas area.
Oh, wow.
That's exciting. Yeah.
I credit your program for my son's success.
Well, that's wonderful.
What a
We
great
love
text.
those stories.
We do.
Well,
That's
absolutely.
great.
What a great job. And credits LISD TV, I suppose.
Well, it's a great program, and students
is.
are doing great things after they graduate. So
Yeah.
Well, and I also
that's
think that,
wonderful to hear.
a lot of kids don't know what they might want to do, and college
Exactly.
can be a lot of money if you don't know what
Yes,
you're wanting
this
to
is
do.
a great way to
And
get
you
focused.
could start with a career and get into a career and then go from there if that you find out that's not for you and you're earning money instead of dishing it out.
And we also have programs that are straight into the university. We do architecture, we do engineering, all the business programs. But if you get a certification in one of the trade programs, then most everybody is working while they're going to college. You can make a lot more money and work a lot fewer hours while you're going to college as well.
Oh,
So-
absolutely. But again, I think this is important. There's probably a lot of grandparents listening to our voice this morning.
Yes, sir.
There's certainly a lot of parents listening to our voice, and maybe they know and maybe have talked to their child about maybe doing something other than college. And again, to them, tonight's the night.
It is.
Go through the program, and you'll see everything that is offered, and become exposed to it. So tonight is the night. Again, 6 o'clock at the Byron Martin Center, 34th and Q.
And we'd love to see you there.
So let me ask you this, is the culinary school going to make some food for everybody?
They are. They're going to do
Alright,
all the
there you go.
refreshments. I love having the culinary program there and the floral, too. So we're set for any type
So
of thing
can
like
I
that.
come?
You're absolutely welcome, and I want to see you there tonight.
We hope to have the state winning barbecue team this year.
There you go.
All right. Well, that's the music, and that's about it. I think we've about covered everything. You guys, I think, are doing the Lord's work. There's no doubt, and
Thank you.
we
Thank you.
appreciate all that you do.